Wake up, well, what's the story? Okay, we're live. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again for a last minute UFC 257 breakdown. I know it's not ideal. The card it's a big card. First pay-per-view of the year. McGregor making a comeback, Khabib story in the background. It's all going off. Before we get going, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It takes 2 seconds, folks. Hit that button down in the little corner there. Give us a like and let us know your predictions for the fight card in general. Again, lockdown has affected me and Will with our timings and being open and free to kind of communicate and do a live stream. We are looking potentially to do something. Let me just make sure this is all kicking off now on here. Wonderful it is, yeah. So we're looking to do something live in the future on Saturday evening on UFC 257 and talk about the fight card itself. So feel free to jump in and discuss the fight card there and then. But I am sorry for the lateness. It's a last minute thing, and it's actually worked out quite well because we've had a kind of kerfuffle with the fight card. Fight cards has always got changes on it. Last minute thing today, though, is a bit thrown everyone off. So we've got some little tweaks and movements on the card. So we'll go into that as well later on as I go through the breakdown. But feel free, like I say, join the comment section below because we're using StreamYard, as you can see up in that corner there. There we go. As you can see there, we are using StreamYard, so I can put your comments up so everyone can kind of see and join in the conversation. It's a lovely Friday afternoon here in the UK in lockdown, and we're stuck. But I want to give a big shout out to the new coach for the Chargers. I'm hoping we're on to bigger and better things next year, and I'd just be happy with a playoff position. Just a playoff will be happy for the Chargers. So fingers crossed, bolt up Chargers. Let's do this. I'm going to jump into the UFC, obviously 257 fight card. If you watch the fights, obviously from this midweek and last week on Saturday, it's been a cluster of good fights going on. Great, some mixed results for the UK fighters, but as a whole, MMA, there's been some epic fights and battles, and I think we should all be impressed with Max Holloway, who's an absolute savage, and dang, he's looking so good still. He's still a bad man. I want to jump into the UFC 257 card now, jump into the breakdown. It's going to be, depending on how many people end up going live and joining in here today, it depends on how long the stream will go on for. I'm going to try and run through the card, breaking the fights down as best I can with the little tweaks we've had. And we've literally had the last couple of last minute tweaks. I want to see what I can do. I can't promise anything. So we're going to start at the bottom of the card, work our way up. We have in the flyweight division, Amir Al Bazi, is taking on Shaglash Zumagulov. Sorry, here we go. Zumgalov. Yeah, Zumagulov. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we're going to go with that. So, look, ladies and gentlemen, I like the matchup because I like the flyweight bouts. I think the flyweights are always entertaining to watch. I think you get a lot of technical aspects in that fight side of things. And for me, Amir is a great little talent. I think he's got a lot of potential in him. And Shalgas is a bad, tough veteran in that regard as well. So, 17 pro fights Shalgas had. He looks about 40, but he's only in his early 30s, bless him. And he fought Payev, who me and Will have talked about Payev, ladies and gentlemen, if you've heard us talk about before. He's a brilliant little mixed martial artist, but Payev got a decision win in his last bout, and look, he's going to look to try and bounce back against the guy in himself in Amir Al Bazi, who's 27, starting to really hit that peak in the flyweight division. Beat Malcolm Gordon with a triangle choke, which was a nice submission there. Before that, he fought on good promotions like CF. For Josie Torres. Now, if you recall the Josie Torres fight on Brave, that was where he had a little bit of a tough time because he was getting some good shots off, but it showed that there was maybe a lack of power. There's maybe a lack of technical ability to open Josie Torres off, and Josie just walked him down and just closed off the cage and really started to lay upon him. So there was aspects of that kind of caught my eye, and I thought he's going to fight a guy here who is tough. He's beat Tyson now. He's fought Tagir Ulanbekov, who's a tough guy as well, and he's fought Ali Bagatiov. So he's fought, now don't get me wrong, these are all decisions, but he has fought top caliber guys. So he himself has got a great little skill set. He's got a tough chin. He can actually swing it with the best of him. He's got a bit of grappling aspect to him, which I like. But for me, I like Amir. I do like Amir in this fight. I think as a fighter, he's very good. I think Shawglass is going to have the veteran side of things, which is going to really start to test him. We're going to really start to see in this fight whether Amir can get up into the kind of, I want to say Malcolm Gordon is a really top echelon guy in the UFC. I don't even think he belongs in the UFC. That's my opinion of it, but everyone's allowed their own one. But with this, I'm looking towards Amir. I think Amir's got a good output. He's got a good skill set about him. He's good with his footwork. It's something you got to look at. He's good at on his feet, getting out of the way and just moving away and keep moving. He keeps moving really well. He's got good footwork. He's got good cardio on him. So that is something that sticks out to me. I think we should obviously look at other options in the fights, and there could be a lot of things that happen in this fight game that change as we watch it. So do be careful of that. But I love the fact that we've got some great little talented guys in the flyweight division. I'm probably going to swing towards Amir. It's not a definite. I'm not sold on it really, really heavy on it. I think that it's not an easy one to go for either. It's not an easy pick, in my opinion. By all means, I know there's guys out there who are heavy on their picks, they're heavy on their bets, but you've got to be confident when you're putting the bets down. You've got to be confident in yourself when you're putting it down there. But Amir's like an underdog in this, slight underdog, so he's like a plus 100 underdog. So I like the underdog money for that, for plus 100, so that's why I'm going to go with Amir. I think he maybe use the footwork to kind of be evasive for Shawglass, so that's where I'm going to. You have next up it's on the featherweight division. It's a catchweight at 150. Nick Lentz and Mozarov Ivelov. I like it a lot. I love the fact that Evelev is an absolute smashing fighter. He is heavy pressure, forward, gets you down, wrestles you. He's starting to throw his hands a bit more because he knows people are so wary of that grappling aspect. He is an all-rounder. He's such a good fighter. I love watching Evelev fight. I've got a lot of time for watching him. He is a heavy favorite in this fight, and I see why. Nick Lentz is just he's an older version of Evelev. He's also not got the striking skill set of Evelev. He's just on that latter stage, Lentz. If Lentz was of the same age as Evelev, he could have the time to evolve. But I feel like Nick Lentz is taking too long to evolve and shift into this game. This is a bad matchup for Nick Lentz, I think, stylistically. Nick Lentz needs a guy who's a striker. You know, like your Ross Pearsons used to be in the UFC. The guys like who would your Jason Knights who would be solid on the feet and he would just wrestle you down, grind you out that way, get you against the cage. I think Evelev's going to have a fine time here. I think he'll get off the strikes. I think he'll get the takedowns when needed. I think Nick Lentz might even get a takedown one or two, but you're going to see Evelev pop back up. I really do not see this going well for Nick Lentz. It's a pretty cut and shut for me on Evelev. I'm pretty heavy on it, so I'm going that way. Next up, we're having a light heavyweight bout. For me, it's another cut and shut. We've got a dude in Khalil Roundtree who's coming back after MMA retirement, which, let's all be honest, it doesn't exist these days, against Marcin Prakoa. Now, or Praknio. It's Polish. It's whatever you want it to be, folks. You can say whatever you want. But I'm not being funny. You've got a guy in Khalil Roundtree coming back against a guy who's got absolutely murked 3 times in a row in his UFC fights. He's had 3 UFC fights and got murked in all 3 of them. Sam Alvey knocking him out. Ankalaev sparked him out. And then Mike Rodriguez, Rakic, knocked him out outside of the UFC in the early days. It's one of them ones where he's not got a chin. If you put the pressure on him, you'll put him to sleep. Khalil Roundtree stopped competing, came back now to this fight after a year and a bit off, about a year and 4 months or so. Khalil Roundtree should win this all day long. Keep the striking like he does, use the smooth kickboxing, overwhelm him. As soon as he hits Marcin, I see Marcin just going to sleep. I don't know why Khalil should lose this fight. If he's got his mind right and he's got the heart right, he should absolutely walk this fight and he should go through like a hot knife through butter. So I don't see this fight going any other way than a KO win for Khalil Roundtree there. So these two guys are kind of not well matched. I think it's more a case of get rid of Marcin, get Khalil back in there and get him going again because he's an entertaining fighter, Khalil Roundtree, when he puts it on. Next up, we have in a bantamweight division. This was a fight I was kind of stuck on because it's not a technical aspect. There's a mental aspect to this fight. So you got Juliana Penn against Sarah McMahon, and you know these two girls. You got to look at Sarah McMahon is a to her credit, Olympian. I'm not going to take that away from her ever. She is a legit Olympian in the wrestling department, but she does have a weakness. Let's all be honest. She gets put on her back. Things don't go away in the first. She really starts to dwindle down. She starts to, like, mentally, she just taps out. We've seen it. We've seen it before in fights, and you can't deny it. She's not a spring chicken. She's 40 years old. I'm not saying you can't be good at 40, but she's certainly on that latter stages, that latter end of her career. You got to wonder about that as well with herself as well. Where is she going with this? Where else has she got to go? She got a decision win against Lena Landsberg. We've seen Lena Landsberg likes the striking side of things, but the grappling, when someone comes to grapple Lena, she does fall foul of it. Renee Renault was a wicked little fight. Again, Renee was fighting for those submissions, got a wicked triangle on her. You had Caitlin Vera, who just, again, got a submission. If she's on top of you, she's got a solid top game. She can pin you down, really outpower you. I know she's with ATT. She's doing a lot of work there with them, and she's trained there. But I just feel like when you've watched some of her fights, you know, you do start to see a little bit of doubt, a little bit of questions. If you can't stop the takedowns from Sarah McMahon, you're going to have a really tough time. We've got a girl here in Juliana Penn who actually doesn't mind the grappling aspect. She likes to get the fight to the ground. She likes to get a bit scrappy. She'll stand on the feet for a bit and it'll go to the fight. The fight will sort of go to the ground. Juliana Penn is one of those girls as well who had a little bit of hype on it. Injuries come along. She's had a kid now. There's a ton of things like that. The Jermaine Durandame fight, you know, she got guillotined there in the third, but she was never outclassed. She was never going to. I didn't think she was going to win the fight, but as a whole, I thought Jermaine Durandame is just a far better skilled fighter. Should be Nico Montana, who shouldn't be in the UFC either. I'm surprised Nico's not a part of that big UFC cut. And obviously, she got stopped by Valentina Shevchenko with a submission. As a skill set, though, Juliana Penn has got a dogged side to it. She fights for the win. She fights for 3 rounds, and that's where I get a bit stuck. But then I look at the Juliana Penn's wrestling acumen off her back. I feel she does fall a bit shy on this side of things, and she does feel. I'm going to pick Sarah McMahon on the wrestling acumen. That Sarah, she could get 2 rounds under her. She might start to falter on the 3rd round, but if you can get Juliana Penn down, I feel like she's a little bit stuck there. It's one of her weaker sides. I think she wants to keep the fight standing. She definitely would be able to use the straights and the kicks, but I think Sarah McMahon's good at getting the fight to the ground. Obviously, Uriah Faber, Team Alpha Male. That's not Team Alpha Male now, but that's what I call it. They've got a great structure there. People, I think they're trying to help Sarah McMahon adjust her game slightly so that she can offer just not wrestling, in the sense that she's got a powerful overhand right. She just needs to set that up. And in this fight, I think she might be able to set up a little bit, get the takedowns, and just get a decision win, like a two rounds to 1. I'm not overly confident in this fight at all. It's not one I'm big on. It's a take it or leave it fight. I would leave it if I could, but she is. Look, here we go. We've got Robot Chicken Wings. Sorry. McMahon is way better on the ground. She's Olympian on the ground. On the top game, bro. That's the thing. On top, she is an absolute savage on top. But it's when she's on her back. Wrestling, you know, that's it, dead, it stops. And sometimes it feels like she's a bit stuck. She's got a lovely heavy top game. I think if she gets Juliana Penn down, she could keep it there. Juliana Penn might go for the submissions. Sarah McMahon's just got to be smart. Half guard, side control. I'd go for half guard if I'm Sarah McMahon. Pin it down, half guard, just little elbows, just start striking that way. We have a great matchup, though, in the middleweight division. Thanks for joining in, Robot Chicken Wings, anyway, by the way, bro. Middleweight division, we have Brad Tavares against Antonio Carlos Jr. Both of them are skilled fighters in different rights. You've got Jr., who is a brilliant little jiu-jitsu practitioner, Brad Tavares, who's a well-rounded kickboxer. I like his kickboxing. I like what he can do on the feet with himself, Brad Tavares. He's got good hands. He's shown over the years. He's just a tried and tested gatekeeper in that middleweight division. Brad Tavares kind of sits there and he holds that middleweight gate really well. He is the Gleason T-Bow of the middleweight division. And Antonio Jr., he is a guy, if he can't get the fight to the ground, it's when he starts to get a bit stuck. And for me, Brad Tavares, he's fought tough guys. He's fought guys around. He's gosh, he looks like he should be about 18. He's got a little boyish face, but he's fought tough guys. Edmund Shabazian, he's fought the Israel Adesanya's, Jotko's, Talis Latis, Robert Whittaker's, Nate Marquardt, Timbo Yeoman. He's fought an insane list of fighters. And Brad Tavares has shown that he can hold his own against a lot of them. He's not won every fight, but he can hold his own. He's a very good, well-rounded fighter. I think for Antonio Carlos Jr., he's lost a couple of fights on the skid now. He's huge for middleweight. I feel like he might benefit as a light heavyweight potentially. I'd love to see what he walks around at. He looks massive at middleweight. He might be more suited to light heavyweight. It might fill his body out a bit more. He might feel he gets more out of it. But when you stop, he is, and he's not fighting as regular as I want as well. Antonio Carlos Jr. He fought a couple of times in 2017, once in 2018, a couple of times in 2019, nothing since September 2019. So again, it's like a 14-month break. There's a big gap in your career. It's a big kind of momentum slower. So that's something you got to look at. In regards to Brad Tavares, he seems to be always ticking over. He's another one as well. He's had a long period off. So the pair of them is well suited. There might be a bit of a slow start. I don't know, but I think Tavares wants to get a fight on the feet. Carlos definitely wants to fight on the ground. I'm going to go with Brad Tavares in this one. I think he can definitely get the win. I think he's definitely got the striking acumen to really pick off Carlos Jr. over the 3 rounds. I think if he can keep the fight standing, he should be able to do well in that fight. Just defend the takedowns, reduce your kicks. If you know a guy's jiu-jitsu based, plant your feet a little bit more. When you finish your combinations, don't stay in the pocket, circle off left or right, or even take a step back. A lot of guys, they throw their combinations, they stay in the pocket, and that's where the takedowns come. It's sometimes a bit lazy, it's sometimes a bit slacking, but they need to come in, combination, cut the angle. So I'm going to go with Brad Tavares here. I think he can definitely get the win on this one. It's not going to be, I think, a decision win. Carlos has got, he's definitely got a tough chin. He can definitely outlast a bit, but I think I'm going to go that way with Brad Tavares. We have a last-minute matchup that's got made because fighters have been pulled and not fighting, but they've made a lightweight bout in Matt Frivola against Armin Tuxorian. It's Nasrat Hasparas was meant to fight Armin, and then Otman Altar was meant to fight Frivola. They put the two of them together. I feel bad for Frivola. I think it's a bad matchup for him. Now, Armin did miss weight as well. He came in at 159, I think it was, about 159. So you got a guy who's missed weight, so that's not a good thing. Sorry, guys and girls, had to wet the cockles. Matt Frivola had a split decision against Luis Pena. It was a back-and-forth fight. The pair of them, you saw Frivola get hit, which he does a lot. Even Jonathan Turner hit him. He seems to get hit on the basis of he's got great cardio, will put in the 3 rounds and puts in the work. And for Matt Frivola, that might work well for him. But when he's fighting a guy like Armin, who has got 3 rounds of heavy level grappling, who has got the skill set to really put a pressure on you, that's where I think Frivola might fall short, because it's all good having a good chin. But if you're just getting hit too much, to throw a punch, you're taking a punch. It's not a winning combination. And I think Armin here is set up here for a lovely decision win. He's got the grappling aspect where it's in his back pocket. He shouldn't have any problems with the grappling. He should be able to land the strikes, mix a couple of takedowns in, and it would just be almost like a rinse and repeat. Armin can throw, mixing some combinations on his feet, shoot the takedowns if needed to, just to slow Matt Frivola down a bit, get the fight going again, and just rinse and repeat it. I think Frivola's going to be hit a bit too much. I think Armin will get out the way a bit. I don't think it favours Matt Frivola this fight at all. But for me, if Frivola wins, that will be huge for him. I think that's a great win to get against someone who's so talented and got a lot of potential. Armin's ceiling is high, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the guy does this year. Obviously, with the restriction we have, I hope he gets at least 3 fights this year. He's a talented dude. In the middleweight division, because like I said, they moved the card around a little bit. This is the main card kicking off. You got Andrew Sanchez taking on Muradov. I always spit that out wrong. This is a guy who's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is like the agent, the Too Much Money team, or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. He's got some good traits, and he's got traits that grind you. And one of the traits he has, he's just super confident, overconfident, whatever you want to say. He's a bit brash. He does get hit sometimes, though, a bit too much for my liking. When he's doing that, he needs to rein that in a little bit. He has to be a bit careful, because it's going to hurt. Like, Trevor Smith was landing on him. I'm not being rude, but Trevor Smith was landing punches when he had no right to, because Trevor Smith was getting anywhere near, but every now and then you just see a little bit of cockiness, a little bit, he switched off a little bit and he'd get hit. Alicio had a good fight with him, a good decision fight there, but you saw Mcmahon use his jab perfectly. And this is the fight for it. Andrew Sanchez is a hard-nosed fighter. He wants to get in close, grapple on the cage. He likes that cage battle, grinding you, get the underhook battle, dirty boxing. If he can get the fight to the ground, he will. And he will just stay in your face for that amount of time. But we've seen he has got that problem, Andrew Sanchez, of the gas tank. Come this mid-second round, it starts to fade off. You start to see the hands drop, and you start to see him breathing too heavy out of his mouth. You start to see him just chasing a little bit, and he starts to miss the takedowns. He hasn't got. He's got a game plan that has not got the body for it. He wants to be a 3-round hard grinder, and I feel like if he needs to work on a few things to get there, maybe strength and conditioning. Obviously, he's been working. I believe he worked with Duke Rufus and stuff like that to work on his striking abilities. He obviously beat Wellington, which was a good win. Marcus Perez was a back and forth fight. I enjoyed that one. Marc-Andre Barrat or Bano. I don't do French Canadian pronunciation, sorry, but Marvin Vettori picked him apart a bit. Andrew Sanchez has got an ability to to not get a takedown and then start to get picked apart. And for me, if I'm Mcmahon, I'm just going to pop that jab, use my footwork like he does, and stay out of the way. That's all he has to do for 3 rounds, stay out of the way. I think you might get an Andrew Sanchez first round. Potentially, Sanchez might get these takedowns. He might get that. And I would not be surprised, but I don't think he can do it for 3 solid rounds. And that's where Mcmahon can just start picking away. I've got to pick Mcmahon here. I just don't see him losing this fight. I just don't see where Sanchez can get the domination that he needs for 3 solid rounds. I don't think he's going to get it. That being said, he could absolutely pull something out of the hat. Andrew Sanchez is obviously the favorite on some betting lines, but overall, Mcmahon is the overall favorite. Now I'm going to go to the women's strawweight division. Yeah, Maduro, brother. Yeah, UFC betting experience. Pleasure to have you with me, man. Will's not here again. It's just COVID, brother. His workplace shifts. It's a nightmare, absolute nightmare for him. So I'm doing this literally last minute, and because I kind of held out as best we could, but I luckily held out, bro. And these fights all changed, so I thought that's not a bad thing. And fights got pulled, so these things happen, brother. It's all good, but yeah, man, I think he should get this win. He might be a good parlay piece. You know, he's a good straight bet, actually. He's a good straight bet, but also he could be very handy in some parlays. We have in the women's strawweight division. It's not a complete write-off. Like, Amanda Ribas is facing Marina Rodriguez. Now, Amanda Ribas is, again, she's turning into, and not in a negative way, like the Paige Van Zandt like explosion. Like, everyone's like, oh my gosh. And you've got to be careful. Like, she's done well. The Emily Whitmore fight, she got a submission win. Mackenzie Dern was her big fight where she got that decision. Randa Marcos, decision win. And then Paige Van Zandt submission, yeah. Armin killing by morning. Yeah. Armin, yeah. Killing by my morning. Armin's got to be doing it, man. He's an absolute savage. Yeah, Rodriguez looked really bad at weight, do you think? Yeah, I did. I did think that. But then again, I always think women cutting weight, it's a bit harder for the women than it is for the blokes, and that's something it's hard to understand if we're Bull Raw, bro. I hope you're doing well. I hope things are going well in your little world, man. I hope podcasting going good for you, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not checked them out, check out Bull Raw MMA podcast. He does little breakdowns as well, so give him a shout out. Yeah, it's one of those things where I get a bit worrisome with women, because obviously they have what we don't have as men, is a menstrual cycle, and that absolutely fucks everything up. Their weight cutting, their water retention, everything goes out the window. So that's when you see women on the scale, sometimes they've had harder cut than a bloke. Like, they only might have to cut 5 pounds, whereas a bloke is cutting 10, but those 5 pounds are harder to cut because of what's going on with their body inside. So exactly, yeah, it is, mate. So I don't know if that is the case, but that is a factor that women have that men don't have. So we have to take that in consideration. So Marina might have had a tougher cut because of that. But then again, if that's because she's having a tough cut to get rid of the water, she might end up retaining more water, which might help her a little bit with the replenishment. She might actually find a benefit to it the next day. I don't know. Sadly, because not being a woman, and I've not really asked any woman that. Actually, do you know what I should do? I should make a note to ask a woman fighter that to see if I can get a bit of an answer. In fact, I will do that. I'll actually get a female fighter that I know on to actually help us all out. It's a UFC fighter, so she'll be more than happy to do that. But yeah, on a skill set wise, Marina Rodriguez, she lost to Carla Esparza, which Carla is one of them ones where she's kind of come back and she's starting to change her style and she's getting up the rankings again. It's all crazy. But as an overall fighter, Marina Rodriguez, she's got good strikes. She's got good striking. I like the way she fights, man. And I like what she can do. I like what Marina Rodriguez offers on a fight game. I think she's a tough outing for anyone. I don't think she's going to mess around with if you get her onto the ground. She again is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, so she's not unknown on the ground. She is learning the ground game. She's got the striking game. Amanda Ribas has to get that fight to the grappling aspect, where that's probably one of the strongest suits. She'll come in aggressive with the striking, don't get me wrong. She's got that black belt jiu-jitsu. She's got the black belt in judo as well, which is always something comforting to have, because when you want to get the fight to the ground, a Muay Thai fighter is also a renowned grappler, because with Muay Thai there is a grappling aspect. So when the clinch game comes, she has a bit strong balance and she knows what to do. So, and UFC betting experience, I got Ribas by decision plus 10. That plus 110, that's beautiful, bro. I like that. That's a great one, man. Yeah, and that's the thing. Ribas can get clipped. And the reason why she gets clipped, bro, like I say, she wants that takedown so bad. She opens herself up to strikes and she comes forward rather than the angles. A little bit of footwork, cutting the angles to get the fight to the ground could help her in that aspect. Obviously, American Top Team are helping Amanda Ribas as much as they can. And she is growing and developing. She is getting better. I'm going to go with Ribas on this one in decision. The way Ribas controlled Dern exactly on the ground, I have to go with Amanda. That is the thing, brother. And that is what I'm saying, Robochick. I'm with you. I think that she has got toughness to get the fight to the ground. And we've seen if you get Marina Rodriguez on the ground, that's definitely her weaker point. It's definitely somewhere where she gets a bit stuck. I think Ribas is going to take a few hits to get that fight to the ground. As long as she doesn't get affected by it, as in stopped, or doesn't get wobbled, she should be okay. So I'm going for Amanda Ribas with the decision. Marina Rodriguez is a tough outing for anyone. I think she's got such a good skills on the feet. Sorry, it's a scary place to enter into, because you've got to remember when you're apart from your opponents, you're relying on your jab and your straights. When you close that distance, you're opening yourself up to the elbows, uppercuts, knees, front kicks coming up when you're going for the takedowns. There is more danger when you close the distance from range to there. So for Amanda Ribas, she has to make sure when she comes in, she's getting the respect of Marina Rodriguez, getting Marina's hands up to make her really defend to shooting for the takedown. So I hope she does. I feel she should be able to. With ATT kind of training camp, with your Mike Browns going through the game plan, I think she should be okay in this one. Okay, next up we have is women's flyweight division. We have Jessica Rai and Joanne Calderwood. Looking enough, we didn't get another Jessica Rai chant, which was, I always think about that moment when she was with the crowd, she's getting the chant going. It was painful. It was agony. And then I go to Impractical Jokers and I think about Sal when he was at the baseball stadium. He had to do the chants like, let's go sexy, or let's get sexy. And it reminds me of Jessica Rai when it was just crude, awkward, just terrible. But Jessica Rai, 34 years old now. She's in her division. She said that's her division. That's where she feels she belongs. She had that fight against Cynthia Carvalho on recently. Only recently. Blinking, no, it was in June. Didn't feel like then because there's that many fights gone on, folks, since June. It's all a bit of a blur. But watching that fight, you could see the frustration in Jessica Rai. She chased the punch. She chased Cynthia and was not closing Cynthia. And that, to me, stood out. I thought, footwork's not there. She hasn't got the knowledge of the closing down. I feel like, how would you not know by this stage of your career? She got a great win against Vivian Ajuro. I thought that was a tremendous little win for Jessica Rai. And you got Joanne Calderwood, who theoretically blew it again. She had a chance here to get a title shot, accepted a short notice fight against Jennifer Maia, and got submitted again. Like, just don't take the fight. Just say no. Just say, no, I'm all right. I'll wait for the title fight. She blew it. Absolutely blew it. And it's not the first time she's done this. Okay, just my 2 cents. Whoa, bro. How's it going? Good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm doing great, my friend. It's just lockdown. It's a bit of a nightmare, brother, for me and Will. Just give you a quick heads up with timings to actually do it together at the same time and stuff. But me and Will are actually looking to do a live little thing on Saturday evening before the fight card begins. Just a little chinwag social thing with people. So if you feel free, if you want to join in with us, give us a shout, and it'll be great to have you all here. Okay. I like JoJo, but women's MMA and close fight. That is one of the things, man. It's tough with JoJo, brother, because she has got a good skill set, and when she sticks to a game plan, she could pick you apart. Look at the Caitlin Kukin fight. Caitlin, if it wasn't for the fact that she's the Wimbledon tennis champion with all her shouts and grunts, I would have still scored. You could give that to JoJo. Andrea Lee, again, perfect fight. She mixed in takedown, striking, and this is something that JoJo has added to a game, is that takedown side of things. Working with Roxanne Modafferi, she's absolutely adding little bits to her fight game, which has changed her way of fighting, and it does work. It does work tenfold. She's getting submission wins, which is weird to watch Joanne Calderwood submit someone. But with Jessica Rai, I feel JoJo might get susceptible to staying in range and getting hit from Jessica Rai. I just don't see the footwork from Joanne Calderwood. I feel like she might just, it might be a back and forth rock'em sock'em. It is a tight fight. I'd like to see Joanne Calderwood maybe go for a takedown or two. And it's a tough one. Yeah, I'd say JoJo the better fight IQ, but the last fight was so bad. That's it. Do you know what it is? I think JoJo has got a good fight IQ. I just think it's a mental state of when she goes into a fight, it maybe puts her off. And she's sometimes she's caught out. She's caught out in the moment who she's fighting. She's trained for 5 weeks, 6 weeks on this person. Mindset is on that one. That's what we're doing. I've got this drill to beat that person. And that's the problem. And then here we go. Look at this. Bull Roar saying, not sure JoJo can get the takedown. Do you know what the thing is, brother? I'm not saying she could get the takedown, but because she's got that now as an offering, that gets in the opponent's head. When you're an opponent and you know that your opponent could potentially shoot, that makes you a little bit wary. So what you're doing is it's like adding another weapon. When you know someone can take you down, you have to think about the takedown as well as a striking. JoJo was always just a striker, and that's all everyone thought. All she's going to do is strike. That's all I have to think about. I can just I can work around that. When you've got the takedown aspect, you could. Here we go. So yeah, experience. Jessica is worse. Jessica's fight IQ is worse. I think the Cynthia Carvalho fight really shoot that. I think I gets the upset. I don't even call it an upset, brother. I don't even I thought it was a tough fight when I saw this fight announced, guys. I really saw it as a tight bout. I didn't see anyone stand out more than the other. Obviously, doing tape study, then I start to see little holes in each other's games. It is 100%. It's the pick and fight of the card. It is the closest fight you're going to get here. Yeah, I would be surprised if she dropped the ball twice in a row. That is something that we have seen from JoJo. She doesn't. She does. She did drop. She has dropped the ball in her career, but like in MMA terms, she lost twice, and that was it. Jessica Andrade and the Cynthia Carvalho fight. That was a tough one. That's tight. That's a tight one. A Cynthia fight in Glasgow. I was there, cage side, watching it. It was not easy to judge because obviously we're watching it from not the best angle as well. So, but you did think that maybe you could call that a draw. It was an awkward one to call, but I would be surprised if she lets the ball slip twice. Jessica Rai is the perfect opponent. I feel like Jessica Rai, she said, I've got 125 in my division. I'm gonna reign supreme. And I think this has caught her out, the talent that's in there. And I think she's going to have a bit of a tough time. I like Calderwood, not super confident, but I think she steals 2 rounds. It's all about getting it's a points game. No one expects either one to knock each other out. From what I've spoken to, everyone seems to think it's a decision as well. I'm going JoJo because she can tough it out. But one thing JoJo does, if you watch it, if she gets hit, she's very good at countering back. She'll throw something back because what she's trying to do is it's a Muay Thai scoring system where if someone hits you, you hit back quickly because you're cancelling their strike to cancel on the point system, so that JoJo's got a really good habit and a good eye for it. You hit, she hits back, and that way she's cancelling what you've just done. So the judges see both parties hit. So the judge won't go, Jessica Rai, point, nothing for Calderwood. they basically nullify it. So from a judging and a score point side of things, Jojo's good at scoring points in that way. I'm going to go Jojo as well. It's a little bit because I've a little bit favoritism, I suppose, with Jojo Calderwood. Top little lass and met her over through her career. Just need to stop leg kick as a return for a punch. I know. I wish she'd mix it up a little bit, the returns. But her fella, who's the head coach at Syndicate MMA, John, might hopefully drill new habits into her. But she has done Muay Thai for bloody ever. So it's one of those muscle memories, I think. You stand on it when you're drilling muscle memory things. It's like that in MMA. You practice your leg up, you block, and you whip the kicks, and also it's just muscle memory techniques. And when you're a bit tired, those ones come through anything else. Now we've got the co-main event, guys and girls. Dan Hooker, Michael Chandler. Now this one is a stonkingly interesting bout because the odds are pretty close. I thought, okay, I like this. They're throwing Michael Chandler at the deep end. Now, is the UFC going, we're throwing him in the deep end because we need him to fight the highest top guys straight away because he's 34 years old, let's not forget. As a lightweight, he's maybe got 3 years left at that 3 years at the top level. But he's getting a guy who is one of the hard-nosed face dudes you're going to face in that division, Dan Hooker. He's tall for the division. He's got a good reach on him. He does everything that you don't want him to be. He's just an awkward, long fighter, and he's good as well with some good little movements, good little techniques. You've got a height advantage, obviously, for Dan Hooker. You've got a reach advantage for Dan Hooker. Michael Chandler is pretty good at not letting that affect him too much. He's good at nullifying that. Just matches at 50-50 fight. I'm going with Chandler. What is it about Chandler, bro, that you're going to see as maybe the advantage for him? Like, what is it? Because only 3 rounds. Let's not forget, it's not a 5-round fight. It's a 3-round fight. See, we go, look, I got Hooker here, but I bet my heart this man is a savage. That's the thing. We know that Dan Hooker can take a beating. Now, that's not a good thing to have, but we've seen that he can take the Edson Barboza fight, the Paul Felder fight, the Dustin Poirier fight. He's taken some absolute licks in these fights. That's not to say that's a good thing. That is not a good habit to have. It's not good for your career. Considering that he trains with your man Israel Adesanya, who doesn't really get hit that much, it's a bit of a tough one. You've got to be careful with this. So I really do feel that he needs to watch what his mind is Q's and P's here and watch what he's doing. He's fighting Michael Chandler, who's going to be shooting for the overhand right. Michael Chandler, he's got the height disadvantage. Michael Chandler is good at using the footwork, coming in and out. But we have seen Chandler, because of the way Chandler fights, he's explosive coming in. One thing Hooker has got that he uses against any free opponent, no matter what height or reach, is that knee. Hooker's great with that knee coming in. And it's something that just sticks in the back of my head. I think, that knee is going to be dynamite. And that could hurt big time. Hooker's got the knee. He's got the range. Hooker just needs to keep him on the end of the punches. Michael Chandler wants to wrestle, possibly get the fight to the ground to try and nullify that. That's the best way, because Chandler can't really risk being on the end of the punches all 3 rounds and trying to close that distance with the overhand right and coming in with a combination, a couple of leg kicks here and there. It's not going to be enough over a 3-round fight. You have to take that into account. He does have a speed advantage and slight power advantage. Yeah, I'd give the power probably to Chandler as well. Hooker is a heavy bag, yeah. Mike also has superior grappling, devastating ground and pound. We've seen Chandler obviously in the Bellator days where he got the win over Benson Henderson, which has got him in here. Nice finish there. He lost to Tricio Ferreira for the lightweight title. Let's remember that one as well. That was last year, so it wasn't that long ago. He's also been he got the Brent Primus fight. I think that was the fight there. If you recall, that's when his ankle. I think that's where his ankle. He went over on it, and that's what stopped him winning that fight. But they both gas out. It's a 3-rounder. Yeah, exactly. They do. What we got here, though, Brent Experience saying, pinging out here. Hooker got awkward striking in 15-minute fight with Chandler over the extended. He should get caught. Well, that's the thing. For 3 rounds, Hooker could keep it tight, just ping out the straights, throw the knees up, put him off. He could absolutely do that. Let's not forget that he's a devastating, powerful man, and he's got a great skill set. Chandler, though, in his eyes, he feels he's worthy of getting up to the title contention. I feel like Chandler's maybe fallen short a handful of times when he's fought the top men of Bellator. I always feel that Chandler's a guy who's maybe a top fiver, but he's never going to be the number one. I feel like he's always going to fall a bit short. I like his skill set. I like his enthusiasm, but I feel that Dan Hooker could get this fight here as a win. I think Dan Hooker is one of those guys who's never going to really win. I don't think he's going to get the belt around his waist either. I think he's a bit too much of a punching bag, too many hits. There's guys out there who can take advantage of it. There's guys out there who know how to manipulate that. And I think Dan Hooker here, though, in this fight, avoiding the takedown, Dan Hooker's got surprisingly good takedown defense. We saw, like, with the guys there, they've got good takedown defense. They can do stuff. Chandler is chinny, though, yeah, and that's why I say it's 50-50. I think overall Chandler is better overall fighter. Hooker fought better competition, but I think Dan is overrated. Dan's toughness got him through a lot of the fights, as we saw. I think Dan's got a handful of weapons that really don't suit Chandler. That's what it is about this fight. That says to me. I don't know where Chandler's ceiling is, but I know that Hooker will never get the strap. That's the thing with Chandler. Like, at 34, how much more is he going to add to his style? I know Henry Hoofer's done a bit of work with him, added some bits, but I don't know how much further you're going to get, or how much more, you're going to get out of someone like that. That's why I'm actually going to go for Hooker on this one, because it's a 3-round fight. Both men can go hard for 3 rounds with it, but I feel that Hooker has a couple of weapons, like with the knees and the strikes like that, that really can affect a wrestler. It will put you off, because you've got to look at what Chandler does when he comes in for that overhand right. That chin, the body drops down to throw the overhand right over the shoulder. So he comes in, comes down, bang. So they are about the same level. They've got their own assets which make them different, but also bring them almost to an equality. Because Dan Hooker, he could throw the knee up the middle, front kick up the middle. He's got elbows over the top as well because of the height differential. If they get to the grappling aspect, Dan Hooker over the top of the elbows can be a big factor. There's cuts that come into play. We've seen Chandler, I have anyway, on the Bellator side of things with the cuts, scar tissue, all stuff that can happen. I've got to go Dan Hooker. I think that he can actually hurt Chandler in that way because Chandler does get himself, like I said, he comes forward and back too much for me, Chandler. I want a bit more angle. I want him to throw more angles. But that explosive, fast-twitch muscle fiber, it's hard to do constantly and then throw a heavy punch at the end. Everyone is talking about the wall. Yeah, that Dustin went through for the Conor fight, but what about Hooker? He got the worst of that beating. Well, he absolutely got the worst of that beating. Like, he did come off worse. But you got Edson Barboza one as well, brother. Just my 2 cents. And you had Paul Felder. He has wars. He's had a lot of wars in a couple of years. Is that good for you? Is that healthy for you? I don't believe so. That's my opinion. I don't think it's good for you to go through that many wars in such a short period of time. But that's, that maybe Dan Hooker feels healthy enough, and that's why he's took the fight. If he didn't feel right, he didn't feel like he needed a bit more of a rest, I believe he would have took a bit longer off. But that's it. I'm going to go with Hooker. I would not be shocked if Chandler takes this win. It's something I wouldn't bet on myself. I feel it's a bit of too much of a close contest to bet on. It's a bit of a worry for me. So I'm definitely staying away from that on the betting side of things. Someone will crack that punching bag's chin. Throw, absolutely. There's too many guys out there that could do that. So Edson Barboza messed him up with the body kicks. Your chin is only going to last so long, and that's what I was saying about Matt Frivola earlier on. Matt Frivola can take hits, but it's only going to get you so far. Then the chin's gone. It doesn't come back. Then you have to change your fight game style completely, and sometimes that's when it all goes Pete-tong. But I'm going to go next up to the main event, the rematch, as we all know, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor. There's a lot of mitigating factors in this, more so with Khabib's situation, because Conor McGregor, if I'm Dana White, I don't care how long Conor's been out for. I don't care what happened last time. If Khabib says, I don't want to come back, I'm using Conor McGregor as my go-to title contender, because that's where the money is, and that's all Conor's about. Dana and Conor are about is that dollar bills. So you got Conor McGregor taking on Dustin. They obviously fought in the past at 145. That was an awful cut for Dustin Poirier. He really did not look good at 145 ever. I don't ever think that was a good idea for Dustin. He's come back to 155. He's done superb work since then. I think he's looked tremendous at 155. He's been great in that way. You've had the Donald Cerrone fight that Conor McGregor had. I was just disappointed with it. I feel deflated even when I speak about it, because I just think Donald just blew it. Like, he literally, like, we know Donald's a slow starter, and he just proved us time and time again there he is, that slow starter. The Khabib fight, Conor obviously tries to make out like it was a closer contest than it was. I watched it there live. I watched it a couple times after. It wasn't as close as Conor thinks. Eddie Alvarez fight, we know that, but there we go. So, yeah, I think, Conor will sleep him, in the first round again. Go with Conor here, just my 2 cents. Nice. Yeah, Cowboy always shit the bed when the big lights are on. It does. Like, even Cowboy has talked about doing, I've got one last run for the title. I'm like, there's no run, mate. There's no run anywhere. You've got a couple more fights and then you're retiring. There's no chance, and there's no way you're going near that belt. Not happening, Donald. You are not going to. I love Donald Cerrone. He's never getting that belt. Never. Because he took fights at the wrong time. He fought the wrong people at the wrong time. He made an absolute mare. Obviously, we know Conor McGregor is just such an irregular fighter. He doesn't have a consistency. Let's look at it. Since 2016 November, when he fought Eddie Alvarez, got the champ, boom status. I'm the best. I'm off. Fights Floyd in the boxing match. That went well. But anyway, take that away. Since 2016 November, we are now in 2021. He has fought twice. Now, I know people say there's no such thing as ring rust, but fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov after 2 years is not a good idea. And then you fight Donald Cerrone. That's a far more agreeable match. Far more agreeable. Dustin Conor usually shines in the spotlight. Yeah, Dustin's good in this big fight, man. Like, I know he lost to Khabib as well, which is, they both got cranked and necked and choked and everything. But Dan Hooker fight, that was a tough fight. Max Holloway fight, that was a good one as well. Eddie Alvarez war, Justin Gaethje war. This is the problem we have. You've got to look. Dustin Poirier's had far more wars than Conor McGregor. Dustin Poirier has got wrestling in his back pocket that he doesn't use as often as he'd like to, and I think he should maybe use it a bit more often. With Conor McGregor, with Conor, if you can get past those first, say, 2 rounds, you are in a good place because Conor does gas. Conor has got an issue. Ottman is out. Robert Chicken Wings, he got pulled. Potentially breach of health policy. So possibly juicing or tested positive for something. I don't know. It's not been released yet. Or when I came to record this, it hadn't been released. But Ottman's out. That's why they have Frivola facing Arman. That's what's been happening, bro. Because Hapras has been taken off as well. So they've just put those two lightweights together, my friend. Dustin does have some good wins, man. He does have good wins. He's a solid fighter. Dustin's face of, And he just thought, I think it didn't worry. He thought, what is he going to say now? Because he just talks shit, Conor, to get in your head. But I think Dustin's learned from that last time. They both matured. I think Dustin's definitely matured going, I know what he is. He's smack talk. And that's why Conor's been kind of respectful because Conor knows this time around he's not going to get in the head. It's more about skill set and ability. Dustin needs to have a game plan with Conor. One of the game plans I think should be his calf kicks. For me, Conor McGregor, you want to get the calf kicks, take away that explosive movement. Take your time with Conor. Don't rush it. He wants to get that range and get those shots with it. Yeah. Hapras wasn't. I'm not sure what the Hapras reason was. It could have been weight cutting. I'm not sure. I didn't see the reason why. I just knew he got pulled off. But yeah, I feel that with Conor McGregor, we know what we're going to get from him. He's got precision striking. He's powerful with his hands. They're both southpaws, so that's something you got to look into it. Being southpaws is good. If you're southpaw and orthodox, southpaw gets a bit more favoritism because you don't get as many southpaws, so it's harder to get used to their timings. Being both southpaws, it's something that you have to look at. If you're Dustin Poirier, you're looking for the flashy kicks from Conor, all those kind of movements. You have to use your footwork a bit better. I would say Dustin's got pretty good dirty boxing and pretty good with the movement. Dustin gets hit too much, I think. A little bit too much. I do. I think the fight against Hooker in the later rounds, his head work was beautiful in that fight. If you watch it back, Dustin started to get the timings of Hooker. But the problem for me was Hooker slowed down a lot, so it was a bit more readable. With Conor, it's not going to be slow. It's going to be one shot, powerful. It's going to be in and out. Dustin has got a good chin on him. He has been hit a lot. He has got good conditioning. It's a huge fight for Dustin Poirier. For me, Dustin Poirier's got a lot more to get out of this fight than obviously Conor has. If Conor wins, he'll shout for the title. Conor loses, he'll just whatever. It is what it is. He's got all that money. I don't think he gives two hoots if it was to happen. He's been the champ. There's not much. If he gets the title back, it'll just be nice for him to defend it. He's never defended his belt, so that's something about Conor. I've got nothing against Conor, but I feel like I'd like to see you actually defend your belt. I've not seen you do that yet. If you got a belt, try and defend it in the UFC. Then you get my respect as being one of the greatest champs. I can't call him one of the greatest champs. You can't do that. He's not even anywhere close to John Jones, GSP, Tyron Woodley, all those guys. Like, he's not even close to them. You can take your pound for pound and shove it. But for me, Conor McGregor's got a really tough test in Dustin Poirier, who's matured and grown since they last fought. He is not the same Dustin Poirier back then. He's a different man. He's a different savage. I think Dustin Poirier just has to be smart in his fight. He has to pick his fights exactly. Pick his fight smart, pick his shots right, and the distance. Dustin is still too hittable, for me to pick against a deadly sniper like Conor. He's too sharp early. Dustin is more durable at 55, but Conor will pack more punch. Conor has got more pop in that 155. He'll probably feel a lot healthier. He'll feel like that's the best weight for him. We talked about welterweight, and then Conor got to welterweight, and he fought Nate, who was also a lightweight and felt like it was oversized. It's like, what you want about? Just admit you weren't the better man. You're not a welterweight, Conor. You get murdered in that division. They'd murder him. They'd have a field day. Conor 155 is the better weight class for him, 100%. It suits him to the ground. I think I've kind of got to go with Conor here. Even though it's a 5-round fight, I think Dustin, with the hittable kind of chin that he has, he does get hit a bit too much. He likes to get into wars. Conor doesn't like to get into wars. You saw in the Nate Diaz fight, even in the second fight he had with Nate, he doesn't like to get in wars. He will go into it, but it's not his cup of tea. He wants to get in, get out, look smart. Yeah, Conor looks solid. Yeah, he does look. Yeah, he looks in great shape, and that's Conor always has. Conor likes to look in good shape. The fast twitch muscle fiber explosive tendencies he has with that kind of that style and that body doesn't fare too well for the long term. Tom Luen, I see, bro. People ignoring Conor's grappling too much just because he's an A striker doesn't mean he's a one-trick pony. We're not ignoring that, Tony. I would be surprised if he went for a takedown on Dustin Poirier, though, because Dustin is grappler. He's been a wrestler in high school and everything. He's got a far more solid wrestling background than Conor has. Conor has got grappling credentials. He has got the grappling side of things, Conor McGregor. It's not his forte. He obviously had to drill it like no tomorrow when he fought Khabib. Like, if you're fighting Khabib, if you don't drill submissions, takedown defense, reversals, if you don't drill it against Khabib, there's no point in fighting him. You're literally just going to have to accept you're getting ragdolled. But for me, this fight isn't about the grappling. Dustin's probably the better. Yeah, Dustin better BJJ as well. Dustin's a legit grappler, man. He really is. Yeah, he really true. Yeah, true. Dustin has got some nasty darce chokes. So he has. Dustin's a bad man. Like, overall, he's a bad man. He's got a great rounded skill set. And that's why he's been able to stand the test of time in lightweight for so long, because he's got such a good round skill set. I don't see the grappling aspect in this fight, guys. I don't know if you guys think this fight's going to go to the ground. I don't see any grappling or any ground game. If I was Dustin and it got to the third round, I would then want to use takedowns. I would want to shoot for the takedowns, get Conor down a couple of times, because you can see you can get him down, you can keep him down. Shoot from the other side of the octagon diamond and make him tired only way. Well, that's one of the things, Daniel Edwards. I think if I'm facing Conor, I maybe want to keep. You could keep the big distance, let him shoot with the big strikes. And if your Dustin gets to the third round, if you get to the third, this is when it starts to change. The whole parameters of the fight changes. Dustin Poirier can maybe start to employ takedowns. Dustin could start to employ, a bit of dirty boxing, because he knows the explosiveness of Conor is really reined in a bit, because you won't have the constant first round explosions we've seen him do for years. It's just natural to get a bit tired. It's a bit harder to do that explosive movements. So for Dustin Poirier, you've got to think like that. You've got to think, how can I get to the third round? How can I take advantage of this? And that's where I see this maybe being swayed. Okay. Yeah, Dustin might shoot, exactly, but not. I don't see Conor shooting unless he gets hurt, as we saw in the Nate fight. If he gets hurt, he might shoot. But I don't know if I'm going to see the third round. I don't know if I'm going to see it. This is I've obviously picked Khabib last time. I'm picking Conor in this fight for this win against Dustin. I think it suits Conor stylistically because you've got Dustin who's a little bit more hittable. If they did Justin Gaethje against Conor, that's a different fight. It's a different animal altogether. It's a different style altogether. But I think that fight could happen. I don't see why that might not happen in the future. Justin Gaethje, but I'm going to go with Conor McGregor, guys. I really do think that he's super fast. He's got precise striking, sees the opportunities, and he seizes it. For me, Dustin Poirier is not a one-punch knockout guy. He's just like a dirty fighter. He'll pick you apart, and if he gets the combinations in, he can start to really hurt you. Okay, I want to eat a crow here, rooting for Dustin like a mug. Look, I'm rooting for Dustin as well. Where can I watch the fight for free? Please, someone respond. There will be. Oh no, you can't because Dana White said he's tapping into all our mobile phones if we stream it. Apparently, so yeah. Apparently so. Apparently Dana said that even though that's illegal, you can't tap into people's phones. It's illegal to do that, but there'll be streaming sites available if you were to stream them. Not that I would endorse that anyone would to ever stream a fight ever. But if there is any, you could easily find them. Ask Dana. Dana's full of absolute dog muck. He said, I got one. Did you see that? He said, I got one. I felt like saying, yeah, because there's only about 5 of them. I thought, one. What's that going to do? Oh, you'll do nothing, pal. Exactly. It's exactly what it is. Allegedly. Very true, just my 2 cents. Snitch away, Daniel. Tom, yeah, what round and by one shot or accumulation? I think Conor could do like a one shot. I think he could hurt Dustin and get him down, and then do like a little ground and pound and finish it off with. I think Dustin could definitely get that. I think for Dustin, he's gonna have to get past that first 2 rounds. But you got to look at what Dustin's had over the past couple of years. He's had some hard fights. He has had some hard fights, man. I don't see it going the distance. I think first 2 rounds, man. I don't know. I just don't know where I see Dustin toughen it out. You know, he's had some wars over these years, and it does take a toll. Your chin does not like it. You know, if you think about it, I know it's only January 2021, but let's count 2018. Justin Gaethje. That fight was rough as a badger's arse, all right, for both of them. Again, Eddie Alvarez fight was a good fight as well. The Max Holloway fight, the Khabib fight, you got a bit ragdolled, and then you had a Dan Hooker fight. Those 5 fights have happened for Dustin Poirier in the last 2 years. Conor McGregor, different kettle of fish. He had the Khabib fight, didn't take much damage, just got more ragdoll and a bit of pride. And then Donald Cerrone, body-wise, you got to go. Conor's healthier, fitter. He's looking in better shape than that. But even the Anthony Pettis fight that Dustin Poirier had, that was a fun fight. That was a good scrap. But Dustin Poirier is a talented dude. He's had some great fights and he's beat some good dudes. But if you look at speed, you look at the Michael Johnson fight that happened. I know it's going back like 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. But I think it's like 2015, 2016 or something like that. With the Michael Johnson fight, speed killed. Speed killed Dustin Poirier there. Michael Johnson was fast, hit hard, and got him. And that's what Conor can do here. It's something he can replicate. You know, it's something that he can absolutely use to his advantage in his fight, and it's something that Conor's going to use. It's just his style of fighting. Has Dustin got a lot of scar tissue? Conor McGregor can open up. Tom, he has got scar tissue. He's certainly got it here and here. It's on his right side because obviously being a southpaw, your more prominent side would be your right eye, but he has got some scar tissue built up. You often see Dustin with a bit of blood around his face. So yeah, I think it's not something that was more of a cumulative thing for Conor. That would be good if he got that cut open. I was looking for a reason to fade Conor, but have a bad feeling Dustin is going down again. It's hard to. It's not easy to fade Conor on this one because it does suit him quite well, the fight, especially having the win the last time. It's something that can sit with him. He goes, "I've got this guy before. I can do it again. I just have to be quick, land the strikes, get in." For Dustin, he's obviously learned from there since that last fight, and he's obviously grown, had a ton of fights, a ton more fights than Conor has since then, and he's just been phenomenal. I love watching Dustin Poirier fight. I love what he stands for. The fact that he puts his kit on there to sell after, and he goes to charity, and Khabib did the same thing to help him. He's just a great human being. It seems Dustin Poirier is such a good soul, and obviously a lot of guys and girls favour or like Dustin Poirier. They want him to win because he's such a good man, but you can't. You've got to kind of look at the style and the skill, and you've got to take everything away from that and look at what's available. And Conor McGregor's got a skill set available, which is there to take out someone like Dustin. He's got speed, power. He's good at managing his distance management, footwork. In the first 2 rounds, kind of starts to go wayward after the third, as we've seen. But he's got that skill set there. I'm picking Conor. I think he could definitely go and get that win in the first 2 rounds. I would be surprised if it goes any later than that. If it does go later than that, then it's squeaky bum time. Your arse is going to be twitching if you put money on Conor McGregor. We look at the odds as well of this fight card, and we'll just see what we've got here now. The fight that's been made, which is Favola and Arman. I haven't seen the odds yet if they've done any for that, but I'd imagine Arman's favourite to win. Separate the art from the artist. What a beautiful quote, just my 2 cents. That's beautiful. I know I should put a copyright on that. We'll nick it next time. But it's very true. You have to, it's easy to pick favoritism because you like people. I did that in a Calderwood eye fight. If I find the two are a bit too similar or there's too much in it, I'll just pick someone I like more. Because you got to pick someone. Let's see. Hooker Chandler. View of the Bay 510. Brother, I picked Hooker in this one. We've discussed it before. I think I picked Hooker just because he's got a couple of weapons that can nullify the overhand danger that Chandler offers with the knees and the kind of range that he can manage. He's got a lot of advantages in the fight that can play favorite to him. But feel free to let us know who you're picking, brother, and who you're looking to. I'm just going to quickly go over the bets. Keep commenting away, guys and girls. It's great to have you all join the conversation. You definitely stole from a smart man. Well, I've just stole from a smarter man. I've nicked it from you, so it's just going down, mate. I'm like down the bottom. Here we go. Amir Al Bazi. He is the Amir Al Bazi and Shaglas it's a pick and fight. There's not much in it, and to be fair, I would stay clear of that one. I don't really see too much of a golf in that one. It's a tough one to pick. Here we go. 2 cents. Chandler is eating a knee and sleeping. Can't wait to try and convince you during your stream later today. Alex Alberto, G. I said the knee, Alex, as well, and I think it's something that we've got to take into account, man. It is true. It's a weapon that he's got that is dangerous, and he throws it. He just throws it random. He's not sitting there thinking the guy's throwing a punch and he's opened the body up. He'll throw it part of a combination. He'll throw it as a guy comes in for jab. He just throws it. And what's so great about that is you can't time it. And that's what you want to have. I'm also faking Hooker. Nice, bro. Nice. It's not easy, that one, because Chandler has got that speed and power and the wrestling. Evelev against Lenz, like I said before, heavy favourite for Evelev, and I agree with that. He's definitely like a parlay piece. You want to stick him with a parlay in this card or the week, 2 weeks time. Sorry. You've got Mcmahon is favourite just against Sanchez. There's not much of a difference there, but that's why I like the odds for this. He's like a plus 140 on average here. So it's something I would look at on that one if I'm going to put any money on towards that fight. I think that's not bad odds. I like those. You got Mcmahon and Pena. Mcmahon, she's like a minus 130. You got Pena's plus 110. I would stay clear of it because if McMahon has one of those moments, if she gets taken down, things don't go away, she can mentally just switch off and then Pena could take advantage. But I would think McMahon should get a takeaway there. I love Hooker. I can just see getting too much for him. Tit for tat, the same as Chiesa versus Michael on Wednesday. Yeah, I would be surprised if the wrestling was that advantage for as that much of an advantage for Chandler. I think Hooker, he surprised a lot of people with his grappling. I'd like to see that. Actually, we'll see. Okay, Mike is quick. He is, man. He is snappy with that overhand right. But that, because you know that's one of his weapons, that's what I'm saying, brother. That's why I think that knee is dynamite. It's perfect for it. Because especially with a knee, if you throw the knee right, when you're throwing the knee, you have an arch in your back. You come back a bit. So when you're throwing the knee, you come back. So you evade that overhand hook, because the overhand is designed to come across here. So with that, if you can get that angle back as the overhand comes over, it should come along here where the head would be. And with the knee going forward, he comes. And the thing with Hooker is he doesn't have to put everything into the knee. He just has to put the knee there for that chin to come to it. And sometimes momentum is just there, and it's lights out. It's lights out for you. We're going to go with quickly to the Brad Tavares one against Antonio Carlos Jr. So Tavares is minus 120 and Jr. is about plus 100. Again, pick and fight. I don't know. But we'll see what happens here. Geez, guys, what's going on here? Ton of little messages popping up there. Caught me out there. I haven't got any, Thomas. I haven't got any bets yet. I'm actually going to put some bets on today. So I'm looking at today. I do maybe a couple of parlays. I think Mac is one I'm going to go for. I definitely see him as a good one. I might parlay in with Armin, because the odds are kind of be crazy high with Armin against Frivola. Who else did I like on there for the odds? Probably just those two guys. I kind of like the pair of those guys and where they look on it. So I might go with those two, like a separate Mac and then a parlay with as well. So I might only do a couple bets. CKB has one of the best takedown defenses of any camp in the world. Chandler will gas. They do that. I think people do overlook what they can stop on the grappling aspect. Alex, I mentioned that too, brother. Thomas, what are you saying? I had Armin, and Conor Parley, but now that Armin fight got changed. It's all on McGregor. No, the Armin fights went for Frivola, so if you can parlay it, still do that, brother, because Armin, I feel he's a favorite, strong, hard favorite against Frivola. He should not lose that fight, but he can get caught by the right hand too. Didn't get KO'd by Pitbull. He did get stopped by Pitbull. He went in. Pitbull caught him with the momentum again. That was another thing, because Chandler likes to go back and forth with the footwork and shoot in hard and strike. And Pitbull caught him, came in. Two people hit each other, and it was just heavy, and it was good. It was good to see though. Ottman, he is an idiot if he's being popped. I don't know, brother. I don't know if that's what you're talking about. He got pulled because of something, but how long until the fights? Which fight? The whole fight card? I'm not. Is it the McGregor one you want to know about? I'm not sure the start times yet. I don't actually have the start times. I think they're going to be UK wise. It's going to be another late one for us. I'm not sure if they're doing it because it could be they haven't got the Khabib thing now, so they might not just do that. Pacquiao against Khalil Roundtree. I would probably do that as not a straight bet. I would probably go for like a KO win for Khalil Roundtree. That's probably something there. You might get some good odds because he's like minus 300 and Pacquiao is plus 300 more or less. He's going to be. I'd go Roundtree with a KO there. You might even parlay Khalil Roundtree with someone. That's a solid one to do as well. Let's look at the other ones. We've got Rebas is minus 300. That's heavy against Marina Rodriguez plus 300. Marina could pull something out of the hat. That's the big heavy odds there. 1 a.m. prelims, awesome. 3 a.m. main card for the UK. Thanks, Tom. I did think it was going to be that. We had it good this week. I am taking this week as like a one-off. Thankful. Like Wednesday midday card was just tremendous, and obviously the Saturday card was awesome. But now it's back to normal where we get absolutely rinsed till in the early hours, and they wonder why we stream it, because why would we want to pay 60 quid to watch something at 5 a.m? Rebas fight good, so good odds, I think Rebas good odds there was subs. I'm with you on that one. You could do Rebas sub Khalil Roundtree KO. I think the odds would be superb with that little cheeky little parlay. Odds shit all around on that fight. I know, bro. It's something like sometimes you have to go for like certain spots. Just Karai and Calderwood, like they're both a pick and fight. Steer clear of it. It's a horrible fight to go for. In fact, tell a lie. If you're going to do a bet, I would go over. I like a decision. I'd go for decision win. Like I'd over X amount of rounds, over 1.5 rounds. Yeah, I think that fight would go distance, so that's maybe something you could go for. Okay, View, you're going for Pena. Bro, I do not like the bet on that fight because I don't like it because I think McMahon has got that mentality of giving up, and Penn is so tenacious she could outwill her, and if your will is stronger, sometimes that's all you need. Chandler and Hooker, so Chandler's a plus 110, Hooker's minus 130. It's close to a pick 'em, isn't it? It's not that far different. You know, a couple of bets could come in last minute and change those odds a bit. Yeah, I'm not too keen to. I wouldn't be too keen to put money on that fight. Poirier plus 300 more, plus 2 on average. Let's have a look here. Plus 240 on average. Plus 240 on average. 250. McGregor minus 300. Yeah, if I'm betting on that fight, I'm going McGregor KO. I think McGregor KO is what you'd want to go for if you put money on that fight in the first 2 rounds, something like that. Pick a stoppage in a round. Sarah control each opponent, yeah, for a good 8 minutes before it gets up. But I doubt Pena can pull the triangle choke. That is it, brother. She has got good control, but I feel like she moves around to she shouldn't be giving guard up. She sometimes they get their guard back, and that's how she's getting it. She needs to stick to a half guard. With the half guard, you can control the leg pin between your legs, keep that heavy base low, and start to rain down some shots so the referee won't break you up. As soon as girls she fights get guard back, she should be fighting to get straight past that guard, and she lets them have it sometimes and kind of sits there. Absolutely gripes me, bro. Gets right under my skin when she does it, and then you just worry that she's going to give it up. But yeah, Poirier and McGregor's a tough one. I think with the McGregor one, you could parlay, like you said before, bro, with the parlay McGregor. You could definitely parlay him with like Khalil Roundtree as well, even. Or you could parlay him with Armin, like you did. Or, you know, there's a couple of out there. Or Mcmahon, you can parlay. There's a couple of fights out there you could definitely get onto to parlay. And I think it might work out a bit better in your odds. Then again, a stab at Dustin, you never know. If it goes over 3 rounds, you might go for a bet with Dustin after like this decision win for Dustin. You never know, but those odds are crazy. That's the fight card I've broken down there, guys and girls. I was going to try and do a quick one, but there was so many awesome comments, and you guys were all joining in. I did. Obviously, it's prolonged a bit longer, which is not a bad thing. The more comments we get, the better it is, and I enjoy it. We love doing these live streams. Me and Will are going to arrange a time for tomorrow. What we'll do, if you've not subscribed to the channel already, if you do subscribe, you'll see the notification then pop up on your YouTube feed that when we're going to look to do the live stream. And all we're going to do is just talk about the fight and have general chinwag, like a pre UFC 257 chat. That's all it is. We're going to have a chinwag, chat about fights, and have a bit of fun. You know, Khalil Safer, here we go. Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay, safe. All right, sweet. I haven't seen the prices. I haven't seen like the prop bets. I haven't looked at those yet, but it's something I will look at when I get off. I was just get off here, not get off in that way. Nothing like a McGregor card shot. McGregor, I know it is. He just gets everyone awake, doesn't he? I've got young lad. I got my missus and her young lad. He's there going, "Oh, you're watching the fight," and everyone. That's it. There's people who don't normally talk about the fight cards, and then that's it. The Khabib and Conor, you know, that could be like they just suddenly come out of the woodwork, and it's great to see it, you know, and I love it, and I embrace it, and I try to encourage everyone and enjoy it. So guys and girls, I'm hoping you all enjoy the fight card as well. It's going to happen tomorrow. Is going to be sick. If it does that many pay-per-views, Dana White will literally probably get on his hands and knees and gag on Conor. But for us though, join us tomorrow if you're chilling out, getting ready for the fight card. Keep an eye out. Me and Will are going to try and sort it out. Subscribe to the channel, you'll see the little notification, and we'll all try and join in again, have a bit of a chat before the fight card, get our juices flowing for the fight card. All right, so thanks for tuning in. It's great to have you. Oh, it's just my 2 cents. Let's go on here. Sarah is probably a better fighter, but she's 40, yeah, and the best win is Jessica. Exactly, yeah, she is. That's what I said before. That's the thing, bro. She's 40. You're not. Renee was going up to 40 something when she was winning, but there's only so much you can do. See you later, Tom. Yeah, good luck, people. Yeah, exactly. UFC betting experience. Pleasure, just my 2 cents. So, ladies and gentlemen, take care. We'll speak. Me and Will back soon. We love you. Take care, guys.